The following presentation will review the gifted eligibility process and provide information about various service models used to support gifted students in Cobb County Public School District. Students can be referred for consideration of gifted services through automatic or reported referrals. However, referrals do not always equate to evaluation. Automatic testing referrals. Automatic testing referrals take place when student scores from system-wide testing meet specified levels and indicate a need for further testing. Currently, system-wide screening and assessment occurs in kindergarten, 1st, 3rd, 5th, and 7th grades. The COGAT, a mental abilities test, is administered in grades 1, 3, and 7. The Iowa, an achievement test, is administered in grades 3rd, 5th, and 7th. Both of these assessments are used to screen for gifted services. Additional achievement assessments will be used to screen kindergarten students. Test scores will be reviewed at the local school level by the gifted lead. As a result of this screening, a student may automatically qualify for gifted services. These assessments may also yield students who require additional testing to determine their eligibility. It is important to note that scores from these tests are valid for 2 years. Reported referrals. Any student with the direct knowledge of a student's exceptional ability or performance can contact the gifted lead at the local school about referring a child for further consideration. A referral can be initiated by a teacher, parent, specialist, or even the student themselves. This process does not mean that every child referred will be assessed. However, the gifted education specialist will review the existing valid data on the student, and a determination will be made if additional testing is warranted. In Georgia, we do not have reciprocity policies in place with out-of-state gifted programs. Even if a student has previously received enrichment or extension-type services from an out-of-state program, a referral is required for further consideration of gifted eligibility in the state of Georgia. The form for reporting a referral is called the GF1, or Referral for Gifted Eligibility. This form must be completed in full by the referring individual. These forms can be obtained from the gifted lead teacher at your local school. If additional testing is deemed necessary, permission to test a student will be obtained in writing. Reciprocity. We do have reciprocity with other gifted programs within the state of Georgia. This means that any student who meets the Georgia eligibility criteria is considered eligible to receive gifted education service in Cobb County upon verification of records. The student transferring into the district must meet Cobb County School District's criteria for continuation of gifted services. In Georgia, we abide by state law for determining gifted eligibility. The state law provides 2 options for determining a student's gifted eligibility. Option A, which is psychometric, entails looking directly at students' mental ability and achievement test scores. Secondly, there is Option B, which consists of evaluating a student's scores from multiple types of criteria. For Option A, we use standardized test data. We look at a student's mental abilities using an age percentile composite score. Students in grades K through 2 must have a qualifying mental ability score in the 99th percentile. Students in grades 3 through 12 must have a qualifying mental ability score in the 96th percentile or higher. In the area of achievement, we use grade percentile scores of total reading, total math, or total battery. Students in grades K through 12 must also have a qualifying score in the 90th percentile or higher. To qualify for Option A, a student must have qualifying scores in both mental abilities, and achievement. Option B. This option provides another method for determining gifted eligibility by evaluating a student's performance across a broader set of criteria. We look at student data in 4 areas: mental abilities, achievement, creativity, and motivation. We use a mix of standardized test data and performance assessments. For a student to become eligible for gifted services, they must have qualifying scores in 3 out of 4 areas. In mental abilities, qualifying scores are in the 96th percentile or higher. We use component or composite scores. In the area of achievement, qualifying scores are in the 90th percentile in total battery, total reading, or total math sections of the achievement battery. In the area of creativity, qualifying scores are in the 90th percentile on a creativity rating scale for grades K through 12. 90% on a creativity assessment is also a qualifying score in the area of creativity for grades 1 through 12. A follow-up assessment will be administered as needed for kindergarten students in the fall of their first grade testing window. In the area of motivation, qualifying scores are in the 90th percentile on a motivation rating scale in grades K through 12. 90% on a motivation assessment may be administered in grades 1 through 12 only. A follow-up assessment will be administered as needed for kindergarten students in the fall of their first grade testing window. In addition, there is a qualifying GPA opportunity for students in grades 7 through 12, which may also be utilized. It must be noted that 2 rating scales cannot be used to determine gifted eligibility. Now let's take a look at an actual student's test data. This sample report shows that this 3rd grader received COGAT scores of verbal 99, quantitative 88, nonverbal 77, and a composite score of 98. Their Iowa scores reveal a 99 in total reading, a 96 in total math, and a composite score of 99. This student is eligible for gifted services under option A. We utilize the age percentile scores on mental ability tests. This means, through a norming process, the student scores are being compared to a group of students within their same age range. Whereas on the achievement test, we use grade percentile scores, which compare a student's performance to a group of students within their same grade level. It is important to note that there is a difference between percentile norms and percentage. Percentile is a score that compares a child to a group, which is the norming process, and percentage is a score based on proportion of correctly answered items on an assessment. Each gifted education specialist has several different standardized testing tools to assess a student's ability. For mental abilities, we use the COGAT, or Cognitive Abilities Test, and the NNAT2, or Naglieri Nonverbal Abilities Test. For achievement, we use the Iowa test, and when needed, the Terranova. For creativity, we use the Gifted Reading Scale Primary, or GRSP, in kindergarten, the Gifted Evaluation Scale, or GES3, in grades 1 through 12, and when needed, the Torrance Test of Creative Thinking, or TTCT. For motivation, we use the Gifted Rating Scale, GRSP, Primary Edition, in kindergarten, and the Gifted Evaluation Scale, GES3, in grades 1 through 12. We use a motivation portfolio for students in grades 1 through 5, and when needed, the Children's Academic Intrinsic Motivation Inventory, or CAMI, can be administered for students in grades 4 through 8. In grades 7 through 12, a student's GPA is used to determine their motivation. As previously noted, 2 rating scales cannot be used to determine gifted eligibility. Thus, alternate testing tools may be required to evaluate the student in the areas of motivation and creativity. The Gifted Rating Scale Primary Edition, or GRSP, and the Gifted Evaluation Scale, or GES-3, are nationally normed assessments. Teachers receive training on the administration of the evaluation tools. It requires judgment, professional judgment on behalf of the classroom teacher, in rating behavioral characteristics, including the areas of motivation and creativity. These judgments are based on observed behaviors in the general education classroom over a minimum of 6 weeks. The testing window varies year to year. However, the primary gifted eligibility testing window typically begins a couple of weeks after system-wide test data has been received. Kindergartners, however, will not be screened for eligibility until the spring testing window. The county has several delivery models for gifted services. In the resource model, gifted students meet with a gifted education specialist and are offered an interdisciplinary curriculum focused on content, critical thinking, and cognitive and affective growth. In the cluster grouping model, gifted students are grouped with peers in a general education classroom with a gifted certified teacher for differentiated instruction. The collaborative teaching and planning service model pairs a general education teacher with a gifted specialist to design and create differentiated lessons that have been personalized for gifted students. Advanced content courses are offered in grades 4 through 12 in core content areas for those with a demonstrated need. There is specified criteria for placement in these courses. A student does not need to be identified as gifted to be eligible for advanced content classes at the elementary, middle, or high school level. At the high school level, Cobb also offers advanced placement, or AP, and International Baccalaureate, or IB, classes. Additionally, there are also high school magnet programs in Cobb County School District. Thank you for joining us for this presentation. Should you have any questions or need further clarification, please ask the gifted lead at your school.